Oh my gosh, hopefully my hair looks good. The first Spurs Watch of 2018, and this is not Rudy, but Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year. Hey, I'm Karl Schoening. How y'all doing? You might have heard me, but now you get to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun working in the radio business, but now we're in the video business, so I'm happy I get to do the first 2018 one.
Rudy and I just do the videos usually, but we're actually friends.
I've known her since 2010.
Yeah.
Maybe 11, to one of those in that range. I think I was a freshman, and then you got the Joe Pags job, and I covered for you a couple sideline gigs. I don't even know if we ever met until a little later.
We had a class together.
Oh yeah, we did have a class together. I don't know. Did you show up to that class?
I did show up, but funny story, when I didn't make class, you know who would tweet at me that I wasn't in class?
I didn't want you to lose credit. Hey, yeah.
I think I didn't go as often as I should, because you were basically our professor's favorite student. I was just like, why go? So Spurs win 103-89. LaMarcus Aldridge is out. They announced that a little bit later on. So is Danny Green and Rudy Gay.
LaMarcus was out for rest. Rudy has that sore right heel, which is not the surgically repaired left Achilles.
Okay.
I think that's something that they're just trying to work through. And Danny Green has a groin that's been messing with him probably most of December, and somewhere in the Knicks game, he just said it wasn't feeling right, and he didn't play the second half, and the Spurs decided to shut him down for a few games.
And Pop did say after the New York game, expect Danny Green to be out in the next few games.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They're just trying to get back to full strength.
Yeah, just trying to get it straight, and everyone's banged up, and everybody knows, especially for the Spurs, based off last year, playoffs are when you want to be healthy. Don't force anything in the regular season.
Yep. And so 5 Spurs in double figures. Who surprised you tonight?
Kawhi's slowly looking more and more like the player we're expected. Kawhi had 21 tonight. Manu looked great. He had a 15-point third quarter, which kept the Spurs in the lead. This is a young Suns team. They want to come in, San Antonio, play well, and the Spurs kind of went young in the third quarter, and it was grandpa juice that came through and gave the Spurs the boost they needed to make sure that they didn't have to fight too hard in the fourth quarter.
It was crazy loud in here in the third quarter because of Manu Ginobili. But yeah, he finished with 21 points, right?
Yeah, Kawhi and Manu finished with 21 points. They both had team highs, and that might have been game highs too. I think Devin Booker also finished with 21 as well. And yeah, so it's good to see the Spurs having multiple contributors, and you said 5 players in double figures. I think it was Gasol, Bertans, and Bryn Forbes, who also had a great game tonight, and starting in place of Danny Green. So yeah, those guys were great, and really helped propel the Spurs to this victory.
Speaking of Manu Ginobili and Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge, he was out tonight, but I have to ask you about the NBA voting. You saw the rankings that came out recently, the first returns?
Yeah, I saw that Kawhi was 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, and LaMarcus was 10th.
Yeah. Manu's doing good in the rankings. He was like, what? I don't know what he was. He was pretty high up there. He's number 5.
Oh, what?
Manu.
What? And really?
Mm-hmm.
I think both of them probably don't care if they make it, but it would be cool.
They don't. I think I care a little too much.
It's all fan voting. It's cool that fans get a little part of it. I think they've changed up the voting in the last couple of years to where the fans don't have as much of an impact. And honestly, I think, if you remember Zaza Pachulia, I'm sorry, Spurs fans. I know that's bad. I know that's like a curse word around here. But Zaza almost got into the All-Star starters based off of almost an internet prank, in my opinion, because he's from a country called the Republic of Georgia, and they must have just made it a law that you had to vote for him 100 times a day or something, and he almost became a starter. And I think sometimes the NBA is probably no, Bruce Bowen coming off the bench, almost going to retire, and Zaza Pachulia, they understand that it would almost be a mockery to the fans who seriously voted. No offense to Bruce, offense to Zaza, getting into
offense to Zaza.
Yeah, getting into the starters of the All-Star game is an honor, and you have to really deserve it. And they let the fans get involved, but the NBA probably gets a little final say in the starters, and I don't think based off those numbers I was just looking at that you showed me, Kawhi and LaMarcus will get into the starters, but I think they get into the off the bench role.
We'll see. I think we have 10 more days of voting, 9 when this video will be published, which is tomorrow. But yeah, so you said we're about at the halfway point of the season. And it's been tough to tell because there have been a lot of injuries, injury management coming back with Kawhi. But because there's so many new players, like who do you like on the court together? Who do you see working really well together?
That you throw a curveball at me. It was the 15th different starting lineup tonight, and this is the 40th game. They're 27-13, so yeah, this is the 40th game tonight, and 15 different starting lineups. There's a lot of young guys, a lot of new faces, like you were saying. Bryn Forbes in his second year with the Spurs has really put on some good shooting displays, but he's a little streaky sometimes. But that's also the Spurs system where it depends on just who gets the good looks any given night. Patty Mills had 26 against the 76ers the other night in Philadelphia, and tonight I don't think he scored more than 4, but he also probably didn't put up that many shots compared to what he was getting the other night. Yeah. So, that's the beauty of the Spurs. So
103-89, Spurs win over the Phoenix Suns. They go to Portland on Sunday. They're actually on the road for their next 3 games. They're back here next Saturday. So it'll be a while for the next home game. And go Bobcats, I guess. I don't even know the sign right. I apparently do it wrong.
It's left hand Texas.
Oh, I can do left hand.
Left hand Texas, right hand.
Eat 'em up, Cats.
Eat 'em up, Cats.